guys, we are back with season 2 of Hot to Trot. We're super excited. Had a nice little break. Got our heads together. Reflected on the podcast of season 1. Got to ask our fans a little insight on how they liked and what they didn't like and how we can do better. And I think we're ready to evolve to a bigger and better Hot to Trot. So, Dawnelle, I'm excited to be here with you.
I know. Thank you to everyone that did our feedback and listened to season 1. We're really excited for season 2. We have a bunch planned. We already started filming a lot of good interviews. So be on the lookout for season 2. It's gonna be a long season 2. Like season 1, I feel like went quick, but season 2, we're gonna be going into hardcore race season. So we're gonna be really busy.
And you're not going to just get interviews season 2. We're going to talk a lot about the horses racing and upcoming races and events. And we're going to be at the tracks and doing some stuff on YouTube Live. So we got a full spring and summer ahead of us. We have big dreams. Big dreams. We dream big.
We like it. We want to bring you guys as much content as we can from our Pennsylvania racetracks. I mean, half of our tracks are open now. Pocono's now open. The Meadows races all year. Parx, Penn National. Harrah's will be open April 12th. And then Prescott Downs opens May 20th. So come May, all 6 tracks will be racing and we're going to be busier than ever. But we love it. We love busy season. Stake season starts. Harness racing fair season. It's exciting.
I love
it. Yeah, we love it.
So yeah, you know what else I loved? I loved having a little time off. Even though it really wasn't time off for either of us, we were trying to cram in as much family and personal time as we could since we weren't filming. So you took a little trip to old sunny Florida. Tell us about that.
I did. I have a 2-year-old down there training, PA bred. She's a better's wish. Her name's Katie Canwish. I call her Katie. She's super cute, plain bay. Nothing flashy about her, but yeah, she's down there training for the winter. So she lives a better life than me. I'm up here in Pennsylvania being cold, and she gets to go down to Florida, stay warm, and she's not going to come up here till when the weather breaks. So I'm really excited. Hopefully you see me on like the stake action this year with my 2-year-old filly. I'm manifesting it. I'm putting it out in the universe. Just find me in the winner's circle, please. Hopefully will be fun. Even if we just, I'm just excited to have a 2-year-old this year. Usually I have aged racehorses and it's exciting to do something a little different. So
with the young ones, I'm excited for you. Well, you had some travel complications. I got some texts from you. Share with our listeners how you should never be a travel agent.
Yeah, if you need me to plan a trip, don't ask me. First of all, my plane made us sit on the plane for an hour before we even took off because the door wasn't working. Shout out airlines. Like they truly suck and I know that. And I just torture myself anyway. And then my blonde hair came out and I booked a flight home. I flew into West Palm Beach, but my flight home was from Key West. That West really threw me through a loop. So I'm going to check into my flight home and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look right. So yeah, Allegiant got a call and they were like, oh my God, we'll change your flight. I think they felt bad that I was just that stupid. So, they hooked me up, but it still worked out. Just don't ask me to do any plans for you. It's not good.
But it made it more complicated because I told you, oh, girl, I went to Key West last year. You should just go. And you're like, oh, but we couldn't get the car rental.
Because my flight was so late from the door being stuck thanks to Spirit, the car rental place was already closed when we landed. So yeah, it was a rough trip, but it turned out good. I was happy to see my horse. That was the goal. I got to do that. Other than that, traveling's not my thing. But you know what? It is what it is. It just is.
That's why there's people that do it for you. Like they're made for people like you. They're called traveling agents.
You know what? Shout out to travel agents because I need all the help I can get. A weekend trip. You thought I could handle that. I can't. I'm not good. But you were busy while I was gone too. We have where's your son going? States, right?
Yeah, for wrestling. So we were at his qualifying districts and he placed second for District 6, which is like Adams, Dolphin, Hanover, or I don't know. in York.
Not only did he place, he left with how many black eyes?
That was the week before. That was at Wilson. That was another wrestling tournament the weekend before. A kid headbutted him. He had 2 black eyes. He placed 3rd at that tournament. So I've been doing nothing but being like wrestling mom mode. I am my son's personal bagel maker. Those are the reasons I have to come. Is I make the bagels perfectly the way he likes them. Regular bagel, peanut butter, drizzled with honey and raisins. Yeah.
You can make me a bagel. I would eat that. Not the raisins. Hold the raisin.
He likes the raisins. A little extra. A little oomph. So I have to make the bagels and bring the bagels. Mom's bagels are the best. No one else does them like Mom. And I am the camera person, of course. I am the one like kneeling down, like getting all the shots and making sure I get the right angles and putting together his little sizzle reels. But yeah, and he's done really well. I'm super proud of him. He's a very dedicated kid. He's been working really hard, literally since the summer. He puts his own money into his, training. So he pays for his gym membership, and wrestling's done really good for him. So we're very proud of him. And then I got my little guy who finished up his first season of basketball. Wyatt, my little hoopsters. I know nothing about basketball. I never played, nor did I ever date a guy that played basketball. So I'm like, yay. Like, I don't know. He bounced the ball too many times, or he held it, or he didn't. Like, I'm trying to learn. I watched a couple YouTubes, but yeah, I've been busy boy mom, sports mom mode, and just staying here in old chilly PA while you're out jet setting and not getting your rental car.
Yeah, the price of travel. But you know what? I was warm. You talk about being cold. I got burnt, so I was happy to be nice and crisp.
Oh, I want warmth. It will come soon. Hey, we're almost there. We're in the middle of foaling season right now. So that's fun. We got the full cams up. That was also a little, reason for the break that we took, was we had to get those full cams up. So if you haven't already tuned into those, we're at Del Val, waiting for our mare to full out. I think she's due March 12th. Remind me of the name of this mare.
No, this one's February 28th, Brooke Blue Chip. Oh. So she's our next
so
one.
Many. Yeah.
We already had one full. She's so cute. The little American Pharaoh full. She's huge. She came out so big, but she's beautiful. So that was at Whisper Winds, and now we're at Del Val waiting for our first foal from there. Hopefully it's a colt. I feel like we always have a lot of fillies.
We do have a lot of fillies. I love when you watch the video, like Justine holds up the filly sign like with such pride at the end of the foaling. She's like, I got a filly. So, and shout out to Jalen, our content coordinator here at PHRA. You and I slept through the full cam, and Justine texting us. We were waiting for Twisty to foal for like 5 days. She was already waxing, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to sleep. I'm taking the melatonin. You were out. Jalen was the only soldier on duty.
So we're getting really excited for the road to the Derby because a PA bred got the points over at Aqueduct, Uncle Heavy. So we're really excited. Butch Reed, he's based out of Parx. So they went up to Aqueduct. He got 20 points towards the Kentucky Derby. So I think on the leaderboard now he's sitting 8th, Ashley, or something like that. I follow the Kentucky Derby page all the time. So we're always retweeting that. So make sure you're staying up to date. But we hope to see a PA bred in the Kentucky Derby again.
Yeah, Butch is fantastic. He's a trainer out at Parx. I am friends with Mark Reed and Barbara Reed, who are the breeders. And little fun fact, Uncle Heavy was one of the last foals born on the foal cam at their farm. They were our first farm for the foal cams, because Mark was so gracious enough and knew me from Maryland to allow us to install the foal cams at Walnut Green. So we were there and filming, and my one of my very best friends, Kirsten, was on the scene. She was by herself. And he was a big foal. She called me like as soon as that race was over, and she was just like almost in tears, like, "Oh my God, that was one of the last ones I foaled for Mark and Barb, and I can't believe he did it." I'm for sure definitely hoping really much he's going. But if he does, I think I might have to buy the ticket and go see him race there at the Kentucky Derby, because that was just an awesome moment. To see, because it's cool to see. And that was the whole point of these foal cams, was, seeing them from the very start, seeing all the time and all the hands and all the effort. And then when they get to and it's huge that it's the Kentucky Derby, but even when a horse makes it to a racetrack, it's a huge accomplishment for the farm, for the people that were a part of those beginning years and those beginning steps towards this horse's, journey. And of course, you always want the journey to lead to the Kentucky Derby. And the fact that, one of the horses at the farm is getting there or could possibly get there, it's amazing. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. A lot of time and effort. I mean, these babies have 2 years before they're ready to go. That's a lot of time, money, effort. And this is the dream, that you have a foal going to the Kentucky Derby. So hopefully, it obviously has a special place in our heart since he was born on foal cams. Like, we have that little connection with him. So it's really exciting. We can't wait to see what else he does.
Amazing things. So, and it couldn't happen to better people. Mark and Butch, they're brothers. It's a great family dynamic. Barbara, she keeps everybody in line. I have the most up respect for the Reed family, and they have done a lot for me. They've given me a lot of opportunities and let me, kind of barge into their barn with cameras and run wires and spend hours upon hours there trying to figure out how to live stream, because I did not know what I was doing. And it was a lot of Googling and a lot of hanging out. And can I come warm up in the house and warm up my lunch? So
all that hard work paid off.
It did. And it's a lot easier now to set up and get those full cams running. I finally figured it out.
Knock on wood, don't jinx ourselves.
Oh, well, I'm excited. And we have a lot of, good things coming up in the harness world. We got Dan Patch.
Yeah, so by the time this airs, we'll be able to find out who was Pacer of the Year, Trotter of the Year, and obviously Horse of the Year. So it's really exciting. There's a lot of horses that were racing on the PA Sire Stakes. So we're going to see. This year is going to be hard. There were a lot of good horses. Tim Tetrick, Confederate, is up for Pacer of the Year, possibly Horse of the Year. A lot of people have said that he's good chances of being Horse of the Year. So we'll see if this plays out and my prediction's right, because that's who I think will be Horse of the Year. But we had Tim on the podcast for season 1. So we talked a little bit about what it was like to drive him. So I'm excited. But the Burks have their horses on there. Ronnie has By the Missile, which he's Ohio bred, but he's also a former Adios winner. So he's one of the horses. He's older Pacer of the Year. Yeah. But we'll see who's Pacer, Trotter, and Horse of the Year. I'm excited to see a lot of good horses in that category. So,
yeah, there is. Well, we'll just have to tune in, and we'll do a little follow-up, let you guys know in the next episode. So, but I want to talk a little bit about the influencer scene that we have seen kind of spiking lately in the horse racing industry. So at Pegasus Cup, they had Alex Earl. For those of you who don't know, she's a very well-known, very largely followed influencer on TikTok, makeup girly influencer lifestyle, and she did Riders Up, and it had some mixed reviews, but I get it.
Yeah, I think I get the old school way. She doesn't really have anything to do with horse racing, but listen, she has 6 million followers, and she made, I think, 6 videos, all of them with over 2 million views. 2 million people were introduced to horse racing. She was going to the Pegasus Cup. She was doing a Get Ready with Me. She did a couple videos there. that's a lot of eyeballs on your sport. And if you can get just a small percentage of those people to say like, hey, that was kind of cool, I want to go check out the races like near me, or maybe they are going to Gulfstream, whatever it is. I mean, that's awesome. So I think the influencer world is something that it's not bad to tap into. I mean, these girls and guys too are out there getting all these views and eyeballs on them. And on it, think about like for me personally, like I watch TikToks all the time. And if a girl or someone is like, wow, this makeup, amazing. Like the foundation I'm wearing, it was a viral TikTok foundation. So like I am easily influenced. Yeah. See, that was all over TikTok.
All over TikTok. This is the Duck Plump Lip Gloss by NYX. And
Cardi B.
It makes your lips plump. I went and I bought it. I bought it the week I saw it. I saw so many people using it and talking about it. And I have to say, this stuff bites. It tingles. It stings. It doesn't tingle. It stings. But she plumps. She good. You could try it. $13. But I was influenced. I'm wearing it now. So I like it. I mean, also like talking about TikToks, I'm constantly scrolling on, TikTok too. And I started seeing all these harness racing hats on predominantly, celebrities and podcasters. And I'm like, Dawnelle, what's up with this? Like everyone's wearing these harness racing logoed hats. And you have, I'm a little bit older generation. So explain it to me.
The Siegelman Racing Stable. So I'm not sure how he built out the brand like he did, but it's been amazing. Max Siegelman, Wendy Ross from USTA has done some interviews with him. He did a collaboration with the Hambletonian. And, his hats have been seen on everyone. You have from like influencers like Josh Richards, Dave Portnoy, up to A-list celebrities like Kendall Jenner. A lot of NBA players have worn them, football players. I mean, I would say when I scroll through TikTok, I at least see 2 people every time I'm on TikTok wearing one of his hats or his hoodies. And it's amazing because coming from a harness racing world, you don't see a lot of our gear. So when you do and you see a harness racing horse on a celebrity's hat, like I remember the first time I saw it on Kendall Jenner, I was like, oh my God, Kendall Jenner has a harness racing horse on her hat. So, Siegelman, he's doing a great job. So I have to give him mad props for the company that he's built and really getting his name and brand out there. So hopefully we one day get to talk to him and ask him a little bit about it, because I am very curious. And I mean, I give him a crazy amount of props because I'm so impressed with everyone I see wearing his gear.
I saw Scott Disick wearing it and I was like, I even commented on the video. I'm like, do you like harness racing? Like a super dork. Like he's going to reply. But I like just had to like put it. I was like, this is so weird. And then like I saw another video and then another video. And I'm like, what am I missing? This is like really cool. Because you're right. Like you don't, especially harness, like you don't see like someone's logo out there in like the celebrity world, like it's blatantly displayed. I mean, these guys are wearing it on purpose. Like they're wearing it where it's going to be seen. So it's really cool. And doesn't it, he does a lot of stuff for kids too, like a lot of benefiting with children with his branding and
yeah, that was originally how it was made. So his dad was in harness racing and had a stable, and then he did a lot of charity with kids and things like that. I would have to like really look it up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But yeah, he did charity work, and then his son wanted to carry on their stable name. So that's the Max Siegelman, who's like really built the brand out. But they have a nice, like a beautiful website, because obviously I think those hats are so cool. I had to get on there and, shop around. And Dan Patch, the Harness Youth Foundation, is doing a silent auction right now. So they actually have some Siegelman gear that they're auctioning off. So I've been watching that like a hawk and started my bidding account so that I can get in on that action. Because I was like, oh, well, if I can help out the Harness Youth Foundation, get a cool Siegelman hat, it's a win-win for everyone. So, hopefully you'll see me in a hat next time. So that's all I'm saying.
I saw they were doing that. And I was thinking, yeah, maybe we'll end up bidding against each other. How funny.
It's going to be a bidding war.
I'll let you have it. We got a lot of fun holidays coming up. We have St. Patrick's Day. So that is going to be a fun show, a celebration. Get our 2 Irishmen on. And also, this road to the Derby, and then also some opening days at the racetrack. So I'm super excited. We're going to be on the road again coming up soon, running all around. So don't get used to this set because we're going to be going mobile, and we've been trying to put together our mobile set ideas. So we're excited for a lot of new adventures as we roll into the racing season.
I know. I can't wait to be back at the tracks. I always love the track atmosphere with the racing, especially in the summertime. It's just a good vibe. So you're going to see us there, hopefully bringing you some interviews and stuff. So make sure when you see us, stop by, say hi. We're excited to get back out there, though. See all the fans. I love some gamblers yelling and getting that cheering to get that winning ticket home. Oh, I'm also really excited. I saw the Meadows announce that in March, they're starting this new Lucky 7 bet. So you're going to see me trying to play that. I'm really excited.
Well, I will be playing it. We're
going to be splitting tickets.
Yeah.
Split our tickets.
Okay, well, I'll go in halves for you for sure.
Yeah, see, I'm excited. So lots coming from our racetrack. So
yeah, it doesn't take much to talk me in on putting in for a ticket, splitting a ticket. I'm there.
That's the great thing about horse betting, though. You can spend $2, $6. You just need a little bit of money to have some fun. And then, if you want to spend more than that, you can. But you can just use a little bit just to get in on some action. And that's what's fun about it.
Yeah, but I also think doing it with a friend is fun too, because then you can bounce. I like to do my picks and then look at your picks and go, okay, what did you see in that horse that I didn't see, and vice versa. I'm a little nervous about this one. Did you look at it from this angle? Did you look at he's been off for a little bit. We're putting blinkers on. I think we got a chance here. And by no way am I saying I'm a handicapper. I am not. I am
we like to think we are.
Oh, I'm not a handicap. I like to bet. I don't always win. I love it when I win. I'm a fan of wagering. And I think it's fun to do with people, in collaboration. Because then you're watching the races, you're texting each other. It does suck when you get knocked out of your pick six in the fourth race, and you're I don't even want to watch the rest of the races.
No one talked to me. Yeah.
Because it always happens that I'll get knocked out in the fourth leg, and then I'll watch the last two, and I would have had it. Yeah. And then I get more mad.
Just miss it by one. Or when they're so close and your horse loses by literally a nose hair, and you're oh my God, they won my whole ticket.
Yep. And I put a lot of time. Yeah. I put a lot of time into my tickets, and I do bounce them off some people, and I always need reassurance. Yeah. I don't know why.
Unless there's a horse that I'm oh, this horse is high odds, it's going to get there today, then I'm probably not going to share it. Maybe. If you're nice.
I don't like chalk. I'm not chalky. I
love a long shot. I love a good long shot. Right. I don't, if it's a favorite, I'm not really going to bet, but a long shot I'm in for. I like a horse that has been racing good, but no one's really noticed. And you're this is his week. I can feel it.
Yeah, I do too. I love those out of the blues. Mm-hmm. You just have a gut feeling. It's his day. It's her day. She gonna shine. So, well, I'm excited. I'm excited because I got to replenish the old Amtrak account, the old Twin Spires account, all of the betting accounts. I don't have just one. It depends on who has the better bonuses for that day. I do. I have them all, and that's who I place my bets on. But I got to go through and retally up the budget.
Ready.
Yep, it's that time of year where I replenish the accounts. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited to get out to the track, see our people, see our fair people. Mm-hmm. We had the fair banquet. That was fun. I danced all night.
Ashley did. She was a little dancing queen. I danced a little bit, and then I was okay, I'm done. My feet are tired.
You and Jalen just pointed and laughed.
Yeah.
I had the moves. Me and Wyatt, we took the floor by storm.
Yeah, I'm a chair dancer. I like to just bebop away and people watch.
I had a lot to watch with me.
The thing is, you just got to have fun. That's what this is all about.
Alrighty, well, we're going to jump into this episode of Hot to Trot, and we're so excited to welcome Jessica Paquette, announcer from Parx Racing, and hope you guys enjoy season 2 of Hot to Trot.
Yeah, what better way to kick off International Women's Day than with Jessica Paquette? So let's get it started. Well, Jessica, thank you for joining us. We have the voice of Parx Racing. She's been making history for women in the racing industry. So we're so excited to have you, Jessica. What have you been up to?
I mean, mostly I yell while horses turn left and I color a lot. So that's kind of been it. I'm having a great time here at Parx. I've been here since November of 2022, which seems like a really long time ago now. But yeah, made the booth home. I'm having a lot of fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, we're so excited to have you here today, especially with International Women's Day coming up on March 8th. And we just want to know, and I know you've probably told this story 100 times, but for the listeners that haven't heard it, how did you get into horse racing?
So I got into horse racing as a little kid. I was like the weird horse crazy little girl, and I grew up in a city and we didn't have horses. Horses were like a lifetime away, and we also didn't have much money. So, I mean, I would like take a lesson once a week here and there when I could, but horses seemed far away for me. So I fell in love with horse racing when I was like 12 or 13, and this will show how old I am. We had there was a local realtor who had a horse that was on the Derby Trail. He was a really good 2-year-old, and that got a lot of publicity in our local newspaper, the Lowell Sun. So I would get the newspaper at my house and I'd go, oh, look, there's a horse in the newspaper. This is cool. And his name was Blazing Sword, and I fell very much in love with racing from there. Just having that local connection and being able to kind of feel like that was our hometown horse, even though he was not from Massachusetts. He was a Florida bred. He had never stepped foot in Massachusetts. And then I got involved with an organization called Kids to the Cup in 1999. A bunch of weird horse kids, we met on the AOL message boards, having like fan clubs for our favorite horses and arguing over whether Silver Charm was better than Skip Away, that sort of thing. And Trudy McCaffrey, who owned Freehouse and some other prominent racehorses, she had this vision to bring young people who were not born into the sport into racing. So she found us on the internet, and her, along with like John DeSantis and Kate and Bradar, brought us to kind of all the big races, the Breeders' Cup and the Triple Crown, and showed us the very best of thoroughbred racing. And the real testament to Trudy's vision is that now, 20-something, 30 years later, many of us work in the sport, and we are all kids that wouldn't have had that foot in the door without Trudy and John.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, you're a communication girly like us. It's a start in the industry. What made you like make the turn into announcing? And did you see yourself in your career path going in this direction?
Well, to be honest, I was like an ugly duckling, goofy kid. So I never really thought about working on air. I just wanted to be a journalist. And I started, my first job in racing I was hot walking at Rockingham Park, but then I interned in their publicity office with Lynn Sneerson. And from there, I went to Suffolk Downs as their publicity intern and wound up kind of staying forever until I was their SVP of marketing. But I wound up having my first opportunity on air as a paddock person simply because the kid that did it back then at Suffolk just didn't show up one day. And I was just kind of writing my little press releases, and they were like, hey, Jess, do you want to go do the camera stuff? And I said, okay. Why not? And that's kind of the okay, why not? Has been what's gotten me everywhere. That's been my approach to most of the big jobs over the years. Was okay.
Just try
why not?
Why not? I think the why not me mentality, right? And I think as women, we often will talk ourselves out of opportunities, thinking that there's someone more qualified or more experienced or more whatever. So I think the why not me kind of mentality has been very helpful.
Exactly. I mean, why not? Give it a try. You never know. And like, look where you landed. I mean, it's been an amazing journey with that mentality. So it's working out for you.
It's been amazing. Horses have taken me to places kind of beyond my wildest dreams. When I was a kid, I never thought I'd be the announcer because I didn't see a woman doing it. It never even occurred to me as a kid that this was a job for a woman because there was no representation of such. So, I mean, I'm hoping there's a next generation of little kids that will come and take my job someday.
I know we need more women announcers. I think it's been great, which I mean, how did you decide that this was what you wanted to do, that you want to announce and give that a try? Because obviously you did paddock interviews and things like that, and you wanted to take another step.
Well, I called my first race at Suffolk Downs in 2014, just a one-off. There was a tornado in the area, and somehow we were still racing. And the announcer, TD Thornton, was stuck in traffic. So I was the only one kind of there that could do it. So we just did it. I mean, it was not good. I couldn't even stomach listening to it at this point. I'm sure it was really bad. But it was a lot of fun, like the greatest thrill I've ever had at the racetrack, like jumping out of an airplane. And that was fun. And I thought it was a one-off. And then quite a few years later, right after the pandemic, Sam Houston needed a fill-in quarter horse announcer. And I had done some handicapping for them. And they said, hey, Jess, you want to try this for a weekend? And I said, why not? Sure. What's the worst that can happen? And it was super fun and super hard. Then I went back the next year and did it again and did some thoroughbred races. And I kind of thought to myself at that point that I was like, oh, this is really fun. Like I wouldn't mind doing this. And I kind of put out into the universe, like I'm a manifestation sort of girly too, that by the time I was 40, I wanted to have an announcing job. I mean, I kind of envisioned it on a much smaller scale than, a major circuit year round. But, you ask the universe and it gives you tenfold back.
Was that a big adjustment from the quarter horses to the thoroughbreds?
Oh my God, yes. And most of my experience had been calling quarter horses where they go 250 yards, they're off, it's done. That's it. So learning to tell a story, not just tell the winner, was a real learning curve, for sure.
I give you props because I, don't think I can pay attention to be the announcer enough, let alone like my eyesight's horrible. I'd be like, I'm not really sure who's out there. Like, wait till the end, wait till they're closer. So I give you mad.
I mean, I have really good binoculars that help.
My thing is like being able to forget the last race, like clean slate, different horses are out there, different names. Like, how do you guys like reset your brains? Like, I could never reset my brain like that.
Your brain's like an Etch-a-Sketch, or like you just kind of shake it and then off to the next one. The hard thing though is that I have found, because there are quite a few prominent owners here that have multiple horses and on a card. So, when there's like an Ed Coletti, Uptown Charlie Brown, Big Bay horse in those navy and gray silks, and then there's another one in the next race, your brain's kind of still stuck that it's the last one sometimes. So stuff like that does get a little bit tricky, and it is funny the way your brain, there are some horses, my brain just will not, like, I have a hard time absorbing them. And it's usually the same one every time, and that is inevitably the horse that wins, by the way. When you're in the post brain, you're like, why can't I keep this one in my brain? That's the one that's going to win.
I'm going to have to text you to make a bet on that one. I'm going to be like, who's not sticking with you right now?
Right.
So if you were not in the racing industry, where would you see your career being right now?
Oh, I have no other skill set or interest. I have no idea. My life has only been with horses and in racing. It's been a part of every job. It's who I am. It's not just kind of what I do. I have no idea what I would do if I wasn't in racing.
I know. I see you're a horse show girly. So tell us a little bit about that, because I love it. I love your posts with your beautiful but do you call him a Palomino considered?
He is a Palomino. He's a Palomino paint. He is. So
I love him.
I do too. That's Emilio. So I do horse show. I broke my back in a riding accident 2.5 years ago or so now, in October of 2020. And I had a great off the track thoroughbred who was what a trippy, who we competed in the hunters. He was like a horse of a lifetime. But then right when I came back from my injury, he gave me a few months to get my confidence back in the saddle. And then he made it clear he was done. He wanted to retire. So if I was going to really start jumping and horse showing again, I had to find a new partner. And after a catastrophic injury, that is really hard to kind of trust that the thing you're going to sit on is not going to try to, kill you. But my trainer found me an absolute saint. Emilio is a paint. He's a Clydesdale thoroughbred cross. He is very flashy, and he's the kind of horse that, you hope you're behaving well at the horse show because everyone's going to notice you. You can't fade into the background on the Palomino paint. But we do the hunters, the jumpers, a little bit of equitation when I don't ride like a potato. So he's fun. He just goes in any ring with a smile on his face. Every amateur should have one of these at one point in their life. We're going to Ohio the end of February for kind of our biggest horse show of the year.
Oh, that's exciting. How did you decide to like get back on and go back into the horse showing world like after an injury like that?
It's just who I am. It's just who I am. Riding it gives me such great joy to have that partnership, and I'm an athlete as well, so I do like to be competitive and kind of climb the next mountain, so to speak. I will say, when I first started riding again, at first I was just like, I didn't think I'd ride again. Here we are. This is great. And then I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever jump again. And then I started jumping, and I said, okay, we're never going to do more than the 2-3, then we did the 2-3, and then we did the 2-6, and now we're going to kind of do the 2-9 3-foot this year. And Emilio has given me confidence and safety and security, and made some of my riding dreams much bigger than I thought they'd be, even before my injury.
Oh, that's so nice. A good horse is hard to find, so I love that.
He's worth his weight in gold.
Oh, a soul horse.
He's cool.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
So you talked about being an athlete, and you're a very accomplished marathon runner. Talk to us about and you work out every morning. I follow you religiously on Instagram. As you know, I'm probably one of your top fans because I'm always constantly liking it as I'm laying in bed, watching you already on the stair machine. And I'm going, good for her. What does that do for your mental, like as you're preparing for races and things like that? Is this like a really like something you need to be able to do the job that you do and do it well?
If I was a horse, I'd be the kind that had a lot of stable vices. I'd be a stall walker. I'd need to be lunged. I'm certainly at my best when I'm able to move a lot. I am very caffeinated. I drink a lot of coffee. I have a lot of energy, and I do fit a lot into the day. But I run marathons. I've run 3 since my injury. And I'm just very grateful to be able to do that and to be able to push my body that way. I'm running the Berlin Marathon in September, raising money for Alzheimer's research in doing so, that will be my 4th world major. There are 6 of them. You get a big shiny medal if you do all 6. I love a big shiny medal. So that's kind of the ultimate goal.
Well, you just took my next question of what's next for the marathons. And do you have any goals that you want to reach? Is that it?
So I'm running the Vermont Marathon in May as well. That's just kind of for fun. I want to qualify for Boston at some point. The qualifying times are very tight. It's a very competitive marathon to qualify for. I am short. I have a broken back. I am not an elite runner, so it's a long-term goal to get fast enough to Boston qualify.
All this running and traveling, you have to have a pretty good playlist. So give us a couple hints of what's on your playlist.
Oh, I love music. It's the thing I love most besides horses. I'm kind of a pop punk sort of gal, like Newfound Glory, Augustana, the Juliana Theory, Jimmy Eat World. That's essentially like sad boys with guitars is my jam.
I love Jimmy Eat World. That takes me back. That takes me back to like a high school, little angsty times.
Yeah, we're all girls of a certain age here. Like,
that's fantastic. Wow. So do you listen to any podcasts as you're traveling, or any favorites?
I do listen to yours, and I listen to Jason Beam's podcast. Jason's one of my best friends. And his podcast is great. I also do some books on tape. I do some audibles occasionally if I'm reading something, or if I just want a little bit more entertainment on my long drives. I like the audibles that are the theatrical adaptations.
That's cool. Yeah, I like the audibles too, but mine's always like crime and murder.
Sure. The uplifting stuff.
And I'm always listening to them before I go to sleep. And my husband's like, can you put your headphones on? Because I don't need to hear about that woman get lured into the woods again.
But if they say there's puppies in the woods, of course you're going to go.
We're going.
Heck yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about your dogs. Since I said puppy, and you have 2 adorable dogs, and they're a unique breed. I don't see very many of them, out and about.
I have 2 English Bull Terriers. One of them's 14. He's Gibbs. I've had him forever, since he was a puppy. And then our other one is Eve. She is of unknown age. I think she's forever 4 because she acts like a puppy, but we've had her for 6 years, so she is not 4. She came through the Bull Terrier rescue system. She was born deaf, and she had gotten hit by a car and found in a ditch on Christmas Eve. That's how she got her name from the rescue folks. So one of her legs doesn't really work that great, but they're a really funny breed. I've had them. I've had 4 of them over my lifetime. They're amazing. They are not for everybody. They are very stubborn. They're very funny, but they're not for. You have to have a certain sense of humor for them. They're clowns in dog suits.
Aw. Well, I guess since you're already being called, 'cause you do have a full race card today too, we can throw you in the hot seat if you don't mind.
Sure, that sounds great.
All right. So we know you're a Dunkin' girly. What's your Dunkin' order?
Iced coffee as big as they can make it with a little bit of oat milk.
Oh.
All right. What is your horse's favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
Blueberry.
And what is your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
I honestly have not eaten one in a million
The horses
years.
eat them.
Probably blueberry though. Some of them taste. I've had like bites of his over the years. Some of them taste a little funny.
How did you learn that he liked Pop-Tarts? You just gave them?
Yeah, I think there was one at a horse show, and I was like, "Here, do you want this? I'm not going to eat it." And he was like, "I absolutely do. Yes, yes."
Thank you so much.
I love it.
It's about time.
Oh, that's cute. I had a horse that loved donuts. Like if I had a donut in my
mine
hand
too.
eating it, he was snatching it out of your hand. It was funny. Okay, if you could have any breed of horse in the world, what would it be?
Nothing beats a thoroughbred.
I like it.
I get that. All right. What is your favorite TV show of all time?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I love that one.
It holds up mostly well.
It's a good rewatch. Now I'm
Yeah.
going to want to rewatch it.
What is a must-have in the announcer's booth?
Colored pencils.
Do you ever get tired of coloring? Like that's a lot of races and horses to be coloring.
I can do it so quickly at this point. I know the silk so well. It doesn't take very long.
That does help that it's a track that, you're at all the time and
Yeah.
it's the same, not the same people, but kind of.
But it will give me absolute rage when someone comes out in house colors and I have to recolor my notes in the post parade. Don't do it. It makes the announcer mad. I will shame you as you're going in the gate. I will always comment if someone's going to the gate in sub silks. Don't do it.
What is the best advice you have ever been given?
As the announcer, and this was like a perspective shift for me, was a good friend of mine sent me a text and he said, "You are not the chart caller, you are the announcer." And that kind of changed the way I was viewing the race as the announcer.
That's deep.
I know. It was a real like light bulb moment for me. It was very important.
Good advice. Do you have any hidden talents that no one knows about?
I'm chronically online, so if I do anything remarkable, I make sure everyone knows about it. No, I have. I run and I yell while horses turn left. There's nothing else. I can do a handstand push-up.
That is impressive.
Yeah, that's about it though. No other skills.
I'm impressed. I don't know many guys that could do that. I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, I'd fall flat.
I can't even do a handstand. So we do admire your fashion sense. You have put together some amazing outfits. We are coveting that thoroughbred sweater that you've been wearing.
Thank you.
It is on point for us equine chic girlies. So is there any fashion trends that you just wish would go away?
Trends, like, do what you want to do. You like, if it makes you feel good, if you like it, if it makes you happy, knock yourself out. Like, I think fashion should be a very personal, I think you should have your own sense of style, wear things that you like, that feel good on your body. Fashion is for everybody. And just because it's popular doesn't necessarily mean it's for you. I think, wear what you like.
It just kills me now that, girls now my son's friends, they're showing up in like cargo pants and the little crop top tees with like the daisy in the middle. I'm like,
yeah.
I wore that in 8th grade. This is crazy.
Same.
Like,
it all comes around. It all comes around.
It does.
Yeah, that's why
It's
I
bizarre.
throw away nothing, because it will come back into style. So I'm a hoarder of clothes.
Same.
All right. So we talked a little bit about your social media. You keep everyone up to date. How do people follow you and know what's going on in your life? Because you got a lot going on.
At JM Paquette. It's on Twitter, Instagram. Easy to find if you want to see, running photos and photos of my horse eating things.
That's cute. We love it.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank
Jess.
you, guys.
You have a great day and good luck calling the races today.
Thanks for listening, and thank you to the Standardbred Breeders of Pennsylvania for sponsoring Hot to Trot. We'll see you next time.